how did Chainsaw Man get his powers? Now this is an anime we've been meaning to cover for about a year now, and honestly, it's a really cool show, and if you haven't checked it out yet, I'd highly recommend it. Much like a lot of other anime, the way how they explain it in the anime is a little bit confusing. That is whether you're watching the anime Jimako Suki or watching it dubbed over in English. And that honestly is the entire point of this series, where I just take something that is super confusing in anime and just try and say it in a way that you guys can understand. This series is no different, but we'll get to that in a second. How this starts is with two characters. Their names are Denji and Pochita. Denji was a pretty normal kid in Japan. Well, aside from the fact that he had an abusive alcoholic father who was under a lot of debt, and the fact that they lived in a world filled with brutal, vicious monsters. Eventually, his dad passes away, and Denji inherits all of his debt. So now Denji has to pay it off. Now, this can include selling off a few of his body parts on the black market, or getting parts of the debt knocked off by hunting these creatures that I mentioned earlier called devils. Now those guys will definitely be getting their own video eventually, so keep an eye out. One day Denji meets a first off freaking adorable devil named Pochita. Pochita is the chainsaw devil, and just look at this thing right here on the screen. Tell me that this isn't freaking adorable. They become a team and they work together to defeat devils. Now eventually Denji dies. The guy who gave him all this debt was apparently a dude known as the Zombie Devil, who summoned all these zombies to completely rip and tear Denji to pieces. They disposed of him in a dumpster, and this is where it starts to get a little confusing. Because on the surface, it appears that Pochita just fuses with his body, and it just looks like they just fuse together, and that's what gives him his powers. But in reality, guys, what actually happens is he makes a deal with Denji, replacing his heart with his to give him these powers in exchange for Denji's blood. This is one of the reasons why Denji needs a good supply of blood to, keep himself running. And now when he pulls on that ripcord, he turns into the Chainsaw Devil. And I want you to look at this thing right here. Tell me this doesn't look freaking awesome. And honestly, the fact that he needs a lot of blood, let me just say, is a really good reason why Power is a character in this series. The Blood Devil. And let me just say, her death in the series really upset me. She was one of my favorite characters. Let us know what other things anime related you want us to explain